enjoying pleasure in oblivion, that is trance-like condition, should be brought under discipline by the pursuit of proper means, for the state of oblivion is as harmful as desires. That kind of sleepy state. Oblivion is sleepy state. In the name of meditation, you go to sleep. It should not be. Mind must be alert. Desires make it one type of alertness. As against it, oblivion. We pass from one to the other, waking to sleep. But this is awakened state. Mind must be kept awakened. The mind should be turned back from the enjoyment of pleasures. Suppose you get a joy in meditation. You must go beyond it. Remembering that all this is attended with misery. If it be remembered, everything is the unborn Brahman. The born, that's duality, will not be seen. Then, if the mind becomes inactive in a state of oblivion, awaken it. In meditation time, when you go to sleep, it is awaken it. Layes sambodhye chittam. Then, if it is distracted, bring it back to a state of tranquility. In the intermediary state, know the mind containing within it desires in potential form. The mind has attained the state of equilibrium, don't disturb it thereafter. These are the advices given. The mind should not be allowed to enjoy the bliss that arises out of the condition of samadhi. It should be freed from attachment to such happiness through the exercise of discrimination. The mind, once attaining the state of steadiness, seeks externality, outgoing tendency. Then it should be unified with the Atman, again with effort. When the mind does not merge in the inactivity of oblivion, that is sleep, or become distracted by desires, as in the waking, that is to say, mind becomes quiescent, does not give rise to appearances, it verily becomes Brahman. That is the state of being Brahman. This highest bliss is based upon the realization of the self. It is all peace, identical with freedom, indescribable and unborn. That is the state of the highest experience. It is further described as the omniscient Brahman, all-knowing Brahman, because it is one with the unborn self. It is the object sought by knowledge. Knowledge is seeking that infinite self. This has become that at that stage. Ajam ajena jnayet sarvajnam parichakshate. No jiva is ever born. There does not exist any cause which can produce a jiva. This is the highest truth, that nothing is ever born. There is no causality. That is the highest truth. That there is causality is a relative truth. That indeterminacy is the highest truth. Determinacy is only a limited truth, relative truth. That is the last verse in this. The ultimate truth is that there is only one entity which may be called either Jiva or Brahman. Jiva as separate from Brahman does never exist. That's all right. Verse 32 of page 186. It's a very important verse, they said. It's a very important verse. The verse we studied already, but I'm just pointing it out. Atma satyanubodhena na sankalpayate yada amanastam tada yati grahya bhave tadagraham. It's depth psychology that you get here, going to the very depth and discovering pure consciousness, Atma. This waking consciousness, pre-conscious, subconscious, unconscious, all this is there. Then
pure consciousness, which is super conscious. That's the nature of the Atman with a field consciousness. Suppose you are conscious, my conscious. All these I and you eliminate. What remains? Conscious. What is the nature of consciousness? That is what we discover. The rest of all these limitations. And physical language, we call it field consciousness. Consciousness field. Infinite. Non-dual. Same thing will come in the next verse. Knowledge. You have a knowledge, you have a knowledge, you have a knowledge. I know a book, I know table, I know chair, I know God. So much of knowledge. But what's the nature of knowledge? Then you study that, you come to again the concept of knowledge is a field. Knowledge field. Infinite. Without a boundary. Of which knowledge of a cow, knowledge of a table are boundary knowledge. Take away all boundaries, knowledge is infinite. That is the realization when you get knowledge of the Atman, because the Atman is of the nature of pure knowledge or pure consciousness. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Infinite truth, infinite knowledge is Brahman, is Atman. So here he said, when you realize the Atman, Atma Satya Anubodhena, when you have the realization of the truth of the Atman, then the mind ceases to flicker. Mind ceases to make imagination. When the Atman is not known, we imagine this, that, everything. Here, the mind ceases to imagine. And when it does so, it ceases to be mind. It dies. Mind dies. It is a no-mind state. In the Zen life, you achieve no mind. Is it? Very interesting. In Western philosophy, these things are all extremely new. They are only quarreling, fighting. Matter, mind, matter, constantly fighting. Matter means materialism, mind means idealism, constantly fighting. Really? So what is the definition they will say? What is matter? Huh? What is mind? Like that. So what is mind? No matter. What is matter? Never mind. This is how they make fun in speculative philosophy. So leaving all that speculation aside, when you go deep into consciousness, which is your consciousness, you will begin to lose boundaries. At the waking state, you have got a lot of boundary for consciousness. In dream, that boundary becomes quite different. In sleep, all boundary goes. And knowledge of the Atman means all boundaries. Knowledge shines, or Atman shines, or you shine as pure knowledge, as pure consciousness. That's your nature. Then this mind, which never knew this Atman, which could only see the object, so it could imagine this, imagine that, imagine that. Mind is full of what you call vibrations or waves. In this state, all the waves subside. When the waves subside, mind also subsides. Amanastam tadayahi. Then you achieve the state of no mind. Amana means no mind. Rakhya bhave tadagra. When does it become no mind? When there is nothing to cognize for the mind, mind ceases to be mind. There is something to cognize as an object, then mind is mind. When there is nothing to cognize, mind ceases to be mind. Even in sleep, the mind ceases to be mind. There is nothing to cognize. See that? But in dream, it cognizes. In waking, it cognizes. So mind functions. When all these states changes, the Atman is realized, the mind ceases to be mind. And grahya bhave tadagraha. When there is no object to cognize, mind becomes contentless, pure consciousness. Contentless consciousness is known as samadhi, transcendental samadhi. The next sloka only explains it further. Akalpakam ajam jnanam. Jnanam is akalpakam, unborn. Ajam means unborn. Knowledge which is unborn, beyond causality is that knowledge. That's why it's infinite. Below causality, it is all finite. Above causality, it is infinite. So ajam, unborn. Akalpakam, free from all imagination. Jnanam, which is free from imagination. these flickerings of jnana is not there. Jnaya abhinnam, it is one with the object of knowledge. This jnana becomes non-separate from Brahman, which is the object of knowledge. Brahma is the object of knowledge. Brahma jnayam. The three words. Jnana, jnaya, jnata. Jnana is knowledge. Jnaya is object of knowledge. Jnata, the knower of knowledge. Three words. Jnana, jnaya, jnata. In this realization, you break these three. These three divisions you break. And what remains? Pure knowledge alone remains. Jnana and remains jnaya and jnata become merged in jnana itself. Like all objects become merged in the field, in the electromagnetic field or in the quantum field. Here it is pure consciousness field. So agalpakam ajam jnana jnaya bhinnam prajakshate brahma jnayam. The object of knowledge is Brahman. Jnayam means object of knowledge is Brahman. What is that? Ajam. It is unborn. Nityam. Eternal. Then what happens? Ajena ajam vibhudyate. The unborn realizes the unborn. The causeless realizes the causeless. Cause cannot realize causeless. Cause can realize cause. The causeless alone can realize the causeless. That's a beautiful idea. Even in Eckhart, these dangerous passages are there for which he was hauled up before the Inquisition. God in me recognizes the God in there. That's how he said. Dangerous thing. God in me. Never says so. How foolish sinner I am. You must say all the time. So when he made that statement, it was very dangerous. So, Jnana, he says, Ajena ajam vibhudyate. The birthless knows the birthless. The birthless is known only by the birthless. Or the causeless is known only by the causeless. Cause mind cannot understand the causeless. Mind which is cause, subject to cause. That is our mind. Cannot understand. This mind must be transformed into a causeless. That's why pure mind is the same as pure buddhi, is the same as pure atma. Pure water poured into pure water remains pure water. But Upanishad said, Yathodagam shuddhe shuddham asiktam tadrigeva bhavati. Evam mune vijanata atma bhavati gautam. Thus does become the mind of the knower of the Atman becomes merged in the object of knowledge itself. There is no separate mind. This was pure, that was pure. Pure become mixed with pure. That's language. Ajena ajam vibhudyate. It is uncaused. That realizes the uncaused. So now comes the fourth book. Its title is very interesting. Alata Shanti Pragat. It's a section dealing with quenching of the firebrand. This causal chain is a firebrand. You quench it. The whole subject of causality in this section. It begins with a wonderful statement. Jnanena akashakalpena dharmanyo gaganopaman jnaya bhinnena sambuddha tam vande dvipadam varam. Dvipadam varam. Varam means shreshtham, most excellent. Among dvipadam, those who have 2 feet. That means a human being. Dvipadam means the biped. In English we say biped. Man is a biped. A bird is a biped. So bird also has got the same name. Dvipad. So I salute the greatest among the bipeds are human beings. Why? He realized this profound truth. What kind of truth? Jnanena akashakalpe. His knowledge was infinite like the sky, unbounded by the sky. What is the knowledge of a petty sectarian denomination religion? You find out small, as I told you, chicken mind. Chicken brain, you have. That mind which sees differences, quarrels, fights, what a small mind. When you look from the, as I say, in a small town, old town, 5 feet wide roads, no sunlight ever penetrate, you live there, you rear there, you die there. You have never seen the infinite world. Take that fellow out into the vast open spaces. What a joy. Take him up to the sky. What a joy. That kind of thing. No? From that limited mind, to develop an unlimited mind. Jnanena akashakalpena. Jnana, which is infinitely expansive like space. That kind of jnana. dharman, yog, gaganopaman, sambuddha. With that jnana, understand or realize the nature of all these entities here, all these dharmas. What are they? Each one of them is infinite. So with this infinite jnana, you are realizing the infinite nature of these various entities. Gaganopaman, infinite like the sky. And jnaya abhinnena sambuddha. You realize them as non-separate from the object of knowledge, namely Brahman. All these entities are one with Brahman. Each one of them is infinite. To realize it, my mind also must be infinite. My knowledge must be infinite. Those who understood this truth, I salute that you must be. Tam Vande Dupadam Varam. That great knower of Brahman who realized this truth. He's a human being. He's a biped animal. I salute him. He says this. The proposition regarding Advaita as a supreme truth has been based upon scriptural evidence determining the nature of Om, first section. That proposition has been established by proving the unreality of the distinction implied by the external object of experience, second chapter. Again, the third chapter, dealing with Advaita, has directly established the proposition on the authority of scripture and reason, with a concluding statement that this alone is the ultimate truth. Tatetu uttamam satyam. This is the highest truth, the ultimate truth, where there is no causality. That which is non-causal is the ultimate truth. That which is causal is only relative truth. That's what we established in the third chapter. At the end of the previous chapter, it has been hinted that the opinions of the dualists and the nihilists, who are opposed to the philosophy of Advaita, which gives the true import of the scriptures, they do not bear the name of true philosophy. But that is not true because of their mutual contradictions, also because of their being vitiated by attachment to their own opinion, aversion to those of others. I must establish my own creed, and for that I must abuse other creeds, for they are all false, I must say. In this way they conflict with each other. With all the conflicting such systems, we Advaitins have no quarrel, he had said earlier. Philosophy of Advaita has been extolled as the true philosophy on account of its being free from any vitiation referred to above regarding the theories of the dualists and the nihilists. Now is undertaken the chapter entitled Alada Shanti, the quenching of the firebrand, in order to conclude the final examination for the establishment of philosophy of Advaita, which is done by showing here in detail that other systems cannot be said to be true philosophy because of their inherent limitations and mutual contradictions. The first verse has for its purpose the salutation to the promulgator of the philosophy of Advaita, conceiving him as identical with the Advaita truth. Whoever realizes this truth becomes the truth. Those who know Brahman becomes Brahman. The salutation to the teacher is made in commencing a scripture in order to bring the undertaking to a successful end. The word Akashakalpa in the text means resembling Akasha or space. That is to say, slightly different from Akasha. Kalpa has the meaning of slightly different, almost. What is the purpose of such knowledge which resembles Akasha? By such knowledge is known the nature of the dharmas. Dharmas means the attributes of the Atman. The attributes are the same as the substance. What is the nature of these dharmas? They also can be known by analogy of Akasha. That is to say, these dharmas are also resembling Akasha. The word Jnaya Bhinna in the text is another attribute of Jnanam, or knowledge. Means that this knowledge is not separate from the Atman. It is the nature of the Atman. Just like in the world you can see substance, attributes, as if they are different. In the case of the Atman, it is one and the same. Knowledge is the nature of the Atman. Like fire, fieriness is the nature of fire. This identity of the knowledge and the knowable is like the identity of fire and heat and sun and its light. I bow to the God known as Narayana. This is the Vivekananda Varam, the greatest among the human beings. Who is it? Narayana, who promulgated this great philosophy. That Badrinath, 180 miles from Rishikesh, that heart of the Himalayas, that temple is famous temple of Narayana. Ever in Samadhi is there with his companion, the human being as Nara. Nara means man. Narayana, Nara, two companions. I bow down to the God known as Narayana, who by knowledge, non-different from the nature of the Atman, and which resembles Akasha, knew the dharmas, which again may be compared to Akasha. That's what Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamadachite. That is infinite, this is infinite, infinite has come from the infinite. Infinite having come from the infinite, infinite alone remains. That is famous words. This is the import. Vipadam Varam, supreme among the bipeds, is that Narayana is the greatest of all men, characterized by two legs. That is to say, he is the Purushottama, the best of all men. Purusha means human being, person. By the adoration of the teacher, it is implied that the purpose of this chapter is to establish, by the refutation of the opposite views, Advaita, which gives the philosophy of the ultimate reality, characterized by the identity of the knower, knowledge, and the object of knowledge. Jnana, Jnaya, Jnata. You break this distinction. So that breaking of this distinction is the object of Vedanta. Technically, it's called Triputi Veda. Triputi, the threefold relation, knowledge, knower, known. You break this and establish one infinite portion of knowledge in which knowledge, knower, and known are only so many ways. That is called Triputi Veda in Sanskrit, technically. Narayana or No. Purusha here means only person, and in you also, in me also, the same Purusha is called the Jiva. No, different context. In the context. You simply use the word Purusha, you can call person, or the supreme person. So Uttama, the word Uttama means supreme. Supreme, you are a person, I am a person, and there is a supreme person. That's the person of God. Supreme person, the word.
Well, what? I don't get it. The Purusha is person. So what's the name of the supreme person?
Purusha. You are a person, I am a person.
But I'm not yet the supreme person.
Therefore, there is a supreme person over and above you. Another word is.
But it's the same.
No, word can be the same. Purushottama, supreme. Purushottama means supreme person. Uttama is the word. Uttama means supreme, the best. Uttama, Madhyama, Adhama. The best, the middle, and the worst. Uttama, Madhyama, Adhama. And these are the three. Huh? From Narayana, the philosophy has been handed down to Gaudapada. The Guru side comes like that. Then, next loka is another wonderful expression of the nature of this philosophy. Asparsha yogo vaidam sarva sattva sukho hitaha avivado aviruddhasya deshitastam namamyaham. I salute this yoga known as Asparsha yoga. Various types of yoga there are. Hatha yoga, Raja yoga, like that. This is called Asparsha yoga. Parsha means touch. Asparsha, no touch. The philosophy of the no touch means philosophy of non-duality. There is nothing to touch. To touch only yourself. Is it that? So it's the new name. Only here you get this word. Asparsha yoga. It's a wonderful new name. Free from all touch, which implies duality. I salute this yoga, known as Asparsha yoga, taught through the scripture. I don't know why they call it. That is, there is not any text at all taught through the scripture. Why? Means it is well known. The word why means it is well known. Asparsha yoga vaidama. This philosophy is well known as Asparsha yoga. Of course, Taught through the scripture comes to the last line. Deshikaha, taught. Deshika means taught. Deshika, teacher. Deshika, taught. Adesha, teaching or message. Taught through the scripture. The yoga which promotes. What is this greatness of the yoga? For sure. Because it promotes the happiness and welfare of all beings. Not a sect, not a race, not a group. It conduces to the happiness and welfare of all beings. If the United Nations is to have a philosophy, it must be only this, because it must deal with all beings. You see that? And then, which is free from strife and conflict. This constant sectarian conflict, contradictions, this is absolutely free from that. Because it is comprehensive. Advaita is comprehensive. As I told you, an Advaita Christianity will treat all Christian denominations as its own. But there is no Advaita Christianity. They are trying. Now folks visit to Canterbury, wonderful that. But dangerous to have an Advaita Christianity of that time. All the other religions will have to suffer. So they will be aggressive on the Advaitic Christianity must be Advaitic all. Then only it's truly Advaita. Now, salutation is made to the yoga taught by the Advaita philosophy in order to extol. The word Asparsha Yoga in the text means yoga which is always and in all respects free from sparsha or relationship with anything which is of the same nature as Brahman. This yoga is well known as the Asparsha Yoga to all knowers of Brahman. This yoga is conducive to the happiness of all beings. That's extraordinarily. Don't want harm to anybody. Everyone must prosper. Everyone must give happiness. That's the prayer and stand. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let all beings be happy. Sarve santu niramaya. All beings be free from mental ailment. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Let all people perceive what is auspicious. Na kaschit ma kaschit dukkha bhav. Let none be subject to grief or pain. That's the prayer of an Advaitic monk. There are certain forms of yoga, such as tapas, austerity, not eating or not drinking, standing in the hot sun, standing on one leg. All these various austerities are there, tapas. This is not of that yoga. This doesn't involve any kind of such kind of physical torture or austerity, which though conducive to supreme happiness are associated with misery. These kind of tapas. But this is not of that kind. Then what is its nature? It tends to the happiness of all beings. All is underlined. All beings. It may, however, be contended that if enjoyment of certain desires gives pleasure, certainly does not tend to one's well-being. But this Asparsha Yoga conduces to both happiness and well-being. Something may be happy, but not really well-being. Just like taking drugs. Very pleasant, you get a good kick, but really it is not good for you. So you must be both well-being and happy. For it never changes its nature. This is Vedic knowledge. Moreover, this yoga is free from strife. That is to say, in it there is no room for any passage at arm, passage at word, quarreling, fighting, abusing, that kind of thing. And finally fighting, which is inevitable in all disputes consisting of two opposite sides. As I told you, there is less quarrel among scientists in conference than among theologians. They fight quickly hot, they become. Not so science. But truth is the objective. And it is still more evident. We want to know the truth. You want to say this, all right, have it. That is your way. It's a place for you. Ramakrishna said, whether science accepts Vedanta or not, Vivekananda's Vedanta has a great place for science in itself. This is Ramakrishna said. A big circle can include a small circle. Small circle cannot include a big circle. So what is the nature of it? Philosophy, if it is lofty, it must be all-inclusive. Any exclusive philosophy is partial. You have no place in my thinking. Unless you become a Catholic, I won't have. Then what's it? Can you accept me as I am? No. Impossible. Come this way. Only one way. There's no other way. All that is narrow mind. This mind says, no, we accept all of it. You are a doubter, I accept you. Sincere doubt is more welcome than foolish faith. Isn't it? There is more true religion in honest doubt than in all your creed. That's the famous English line. Honest doubt. Why so? For it is non-contradictory. This teaching doesn't contradict because there's no second thing to contradict. Everything is myself. To this kind of yoga taught in the scripture, I bow salutation to the philosophy mentioned here. He who knows everything as his own self does not contradict others. One cannot contradict oneself. The highest truth. The word yoga means contact. So it's called the touch of the untouched. Actual translation. Yoga means touch or union. And the other is non-touch. So touch of the non-touch. Now comes discussion. Quarreling among themselves. Some disputants postulate that an existing entity undergoes evolution, whereas other disputants, proud of their understanding, maintain that evolution proceeds from a non-existing entity. The two things are non-existing entity producing evolution, existing entity producing evolution. So causality. Evolution here in the sense of causality. So dualists quarrel among one another. Some followers of Sankhya admit production as the effect of an entity that's already in existence. They speak of Satkariva. An effect comes only from a pre-existing cause. But this is not the view of all the dualists. For the intelligent followers of the Nyaya system, like Nyaya logicians, those who believe that they possess wisdom, Nyaya Vaisheshika, that evolution proceeds from a non-existing cause. That is their right. That's why they couldn't sustain in India. Scientific thought won't accept it. From nothing, nothing comes. Only from something, something can come. Meaning is that these disputants, quarreling among themselves, claim victory over their respective opponents. The existence cannot again pass into birth or existence. The teacher says, what is existence cannot again pass into existence. The non-existent cannot be passed into existence. Thus, disputing among themselves, they, as a matter of fact, tend to establish the Advaita view, support the Ajati or non-causal philosophy of Advaita. Yeah. This is Nayayika, Sankhya, whole India. Shankarasan that was existing. Today, Western philosophy, there are so many which belong to this category of dualism. Most of this Christian, Islam, all dualistic as religion. Therefore, they quarrel with each other. Dualists have to quarrel. I am right, you are wrong. It's absolutely essential. Both theories are based on causality. We approve the ajati or non-causality ideal declared by them. You do not quarrel with them. Hear from us the ultimate reality, which is from all disputation. When both schools find fault with each other's views regarding causal relations that tend to establish the root of non-causality, so we accept it. Like the disputants, that is the dualists, contend that the ever unborn, changeless entity Atman undergoes a change. How does an entity which is changeless and immortal partake with the nature of the mortal? Not possible. All the dualists are mentioned. The immortal cannot become mortal, nor can the mortal ever become immortal. For it is never possible for a thing to change its nature. What is its nature? It cannot change. naturally immortal entity becomes mortal, maintain that the immortal, after passing through birth, retains this changeless nature. Once you accept this change, how can it remain changeless? The milk has become curd, yogurt. Then you say milk is still milk. Not at all. It has become curd. What is the nature of it? What do you mean by that? The next sloka says, by nature, or the inherent nature of a thing, prakriti, is understood that which, when acquired, becomes completely part and parcel of the thing. That which is its very characteristic quality, that which is part of it from its very birth, that which does not depend upon anything extraneous for its origin, that which is never ceases to be itself. All this is understood by the nature of it. Suppose I say, the nature of a metal is to be like this. But in science, you can transmute a metal into something else. Then you say, that was not its real nature. Its real nature is with electrons and protons and nothing else. That's the real nature of a thing. And that can never give it up. All the four qualities are given here, being nature of a thing. What a clear thinking is there, like scientific precision. What you say is clarified. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even the nature of a thing in ordinary experience does not undergo any reversal. What is meant by the nature of a thing? This is thus replied. The word samsiddhi means complete attainment. The nature of if a thing is formed by such complete attainment, as in the case of the perfected yogis who attain to such superhuman powers as contraction, expansion, etc. These powers thus acquired by the yogis never undergo any transformation in the past and future. Therefore, these constitute the very nature of those yogis. Similarly, the characteristic quality of a thing, such as heat or light or fire and the like, never undergoes any change, either in time or space. So also the nature of a thing, which is part of it from its very birth, as the flying power of the bird. That's part of the bird. It is nature. Though through the sky, that's called its prakriti or nature. Anything else which is not produced by any other cause, except the thing itself, such as the running downwards of water, is called the prakriti. That's nature. Water runs downwards. Never it can run upwards, unless you cause it to do so. That means you have interfered. There's no more its nature. There is one road in Tehran where you keep your car stationary, engine shut off, and you feel it is climbing up the road. There is a road there. Many visitors go there. The car is climbing up when you leave it shut off engine. Just goes up. I went and experienced it. Road is up and your car is going up. It's an illusion. There. Everybody goes and sees that. Very interesting.
Swamiji, they say here, the powers of the yogis never undergo any transformation in the past or future, but the yogi, a person who starts off being a yogi doesn't have those powers. Doesn't have them in his past, he only has them when he reaches a certain stage.
The power was there, it does not manifest, now it is manifest. The power was there. Just like a baby has the power of getting children in a future age. Now it is not, but it is there. It's part of it. The word prakriti, to find description of prakriti, running downwards of water. Lastly, anything which does not cease to be itself is known popularly to be its prakriti. A thing does not cease to be itself, that is its prakriti. That's nature. A thing cannot give up its nature. If you find it given up nature, it is accidental, temporary, like water hot. Hot water is not cold. Cold is to be what? Or going upward. Why? There's a pump. The water is going up because there's a pump. Unnatural, not natural. The purport of the Karika is that in the case of empirical entities, which are only imagined, their nature or prakriti does not undergo any change. Then how should it be otherwise in the case of the immortal or unchanging nature regarding the ultimate reality, whose very prakriti is ajadi, absolute non-causalness. All the jiva are by their very nature free from senility and death. Senility and death. Senility means old age. They think, as it were, that they are subject to this, and thus by this very thought, they appear to deviate from their very nature. I am the Atman, that's my nature. But I feel fear, I feel dissatisfaction, that's my jiva. So by this, you think you have deviated, but you are not. Your real nature remains the same. This is what you call like water getting hot. Something else has added. They appear to fall from their real nature by this defect in their fall. Appear to fall. Man has not really fallen. He seems to have fallen. There are 6 changes associated with objects in nature, but coming into existence, growth, maturity, decay, death. The disputant, according to whom the cause itself is the effect, that is the Sankhya, maintain that the cause itself is born as the effect. How is it possible for the cause to be unborn if it is said to be born as the effect? How again is it to be eternal if it is subject to modification? These are all discussions about causality as held by various schools, ancient or even modern. So the Sankhya say, cause is non-different from the effect. Then the effect also must be unborn. If the cause is non-different from the effect, cause is unborn, the effect is also unborn. Modern logic says, what is cause in modern logic? A cause which is itself an effect without any further reference to an ultimate cause. A cause which was itself an effect. A father who was himself the son of somebody. Like, it goes on indefinitely. Always you can go back. There is no illustration to support the view of him who says that the effect is born from the unborn cause. If it is said that the effect is produced from a cause which is itself born, then it leads to a regressus ad infinitum. You land yourself in that trouble if you hold that view. So I said, God is without path. God is self-born. Because we go on tracing things up to God. And He Himself is self. So why not He also be born? He has a father. Like that. Called, what you call, it's impertinent. Asking a question, theology. But logic can ask that question. Cause goes backwards. If you believe in cause, it is NJ. Inherent contradiction. Very interesting. If those who maintain that the effect is the cause of the cause, the cause is the cause of the effect, they describe as a matter of fact evolution of the manner of the birth of the father from the son. Okay, father be born from the son. Go backward. These are all discussions on this subject of causality. To say finally, causality does not exist. It is an imagination. That is what a scientist will come to in dealing with behavior of subatomic particles. They are all uncaused, indeterminate.